for it, but more. This is more like a tips and trick when it comes to at least my Nemesis, what I discovered. Okay, as anybody who has bought a mechanical mod, be it authentic, I don't know about authentics, but most clones that I've seen do not come with an instruction manual. Okay, they just don't. So I understand why they don't, because it's very much a kind of common sense type of thing, you know. But for the Nemesis, it would have been very nice to have an instruction booklet. And here's why. Okay, I get the Nemesis, and of course it's got the kick, you know, the two tubes, and I'm just like, hey, cool, great, groovy, man. You know, I take out the kick, I throw the kick up in my vape tray, I slap in my Sony VTC4 battery, and I go and take my hit, nothing. I'm like, what the hell? And I shake it, and there's a battery rattle, man. I think, like, you could take the addy off of it and give it to a baby and have them use it as a rattle. It was so bad. Well, common sense would dictate that when you have a battery rattle like that, that you take off your top cap and you adjust the firing pin or the 510 connector or whatever, you know, so you adjust this pin, okay? As you can see, it is a full silver, I don't know if it's silver plated, I'm going to assume it's silver plated, but you would adjust the silver plated contact, you know, and then you adjust it out and you put it back in, okay? So that's what I did. And I put it back in, and the battery rattle was gone, and I'm like, groovy cool. I threw my Addy back on it, won't fire. I'm like, son of a bitch, you know, what the hell? And I played with this thing for about an hour, trying to get it to fire. And if I pull if I took the top contact up any higher, it wouldn't fire at all. And I'm just like, okay. To the internet. Okay, so I logged on to Google, and I Googled battery rattle and a Nemesis. And somebody, it took me a little bit of digging to find this, but somebody was like, you know, you adjust the bottom pin on the Nemesis to stop your battery rattle. And I'm like, wow, that's kind of interesting, but let me give it a shot. Hold on a second. Okay, so I had a little accident, but it's no big deal. So, you know, they say, you know, you adjust the bottom pin. Okay, well, this is the bottom pin on the trigger. Okay, I've never read anywhere that that's what you do. That you are to just adjust that firing pin. So I adjusted it down. You know, and it's not the easiest thing to do. You know, but let me see if I can do it here. I might need to pause this video again just so y'all don't see me fight with this thing for 20 minutes. Yeah, alright, hold on. Okay, cool. So, you know, they say adjust that pin. Well, you adjust that pin, you adjust it too much, and you have just like what I had happen, which kind of happened off camera, so, but it causes, you know, the little pin will come right on out, because it just screws into the bottom here, you know, so I'm just like, okay, well, finally, after fighting with it, I got it adjusted correctly. I'm like, okay, cool, groovy cool, and I sat there, and I threw the entire mod back together, and, you know, it's 20 more minutes of playing with it to get it so it wouldn't have the battery rattle. Finally, at long last, I got it. But what I discovered was, and I'm going to see if I can show it to you here, to get the battery rattle correct, to get it to stop with the battery rattle, pretty much left me with my pin, with my firing button being extended way down there like that, okay? The problem with that is that it becomes kind of unstable at this stage in the game. It becomes very crunchy, and if you hit it from the side, it torques it to the side, and I really didn't like that. You know, and if you put it up anymore, after you play with the firing pin some more, you know, and you put it back up and you screw it in some more, to where it's comfortable, like there, to where you don't have a big old gap and it's a nice and solid connection, it just gave me fits. So I was looking at it, and I was looking at it, and I realized that it had this little ring. Okay, now this little ring, it doesn't matter. I'm going to put this on the bottom cap because it's easier. But you see, it has that little ring right there. And most pictures that I see, people have that ring right there. Well, that ring will come out on the 8th cigar, at least on my 8th cigar. I took the ring out, and then I threw it back together. And I had no battery rattle at that point. Yes, I had to do a little bit of adjusting to get everything back into normal, but it was, yeah, see, now I got battery rattle. But, there we go. Okay, so it was just one of those things of a lot of playing with it to discover that if you took out this ring, this little bitty ring that sits in the center, yours could be copper, it could be brass, but to take out that little bitty ring right there allows me to have this firing button really up close, and it takes out all the issues that I had with the Nemesis, and it fires each and every time. So that is my trick when it comes to the Nemesis to get rid of battery rattle. Yes, this thing looks good. If you want to keep this, here's my suggestion. Because I happen to have one. I don't have it on me right now, but I do happen to have one. Camry makes them, I know, and I'm sure there's a couple of other companies out there that make them. They're called $2 fuses. It looks like a kick, but what it does is it acts as a fuse. So if you put your battery in wrong or whatever, you know, if you do anything that's going to cause your battery to fail, instead of failing, it pops the fuse. Now, while the fuse at that point in time is destroyed, it saves your battery, it saves your mod, it saves your addy. So it's definitely worth, you know, picking one up. I think they're like $250 or something like that. I don't know. I had one that came with a mod, and when I first started, I used them all the time. Now I don't. So I recommend it for people to use them, you know, but once you get to a certain comfort point in your vaping, you kind of forget about things like that. And I probably shouldn't, and I should probably throw it back in here just for safety. But regardless, other than that, you know, the Nemesis, once you figure that out, once you stop that battery rattle, once you have this thing screwed up, you know, as far as it will go, it hits like a beast. Okay. I'm trying to blow an attempt of a cloud for you guys. Okay, that's off of 6 Nick juice. Hence the cough. It's off 6 Nick juice. It is from 510 Ego. This happens to be the red tobacco. I'm kind of on a red tobacco kick right now. So it's what is it? It's 60 VG, 40 PG, which is their standard blend, I'm pretty sure. But that's what it is. So I mean, it's not like it's a 100% on max VG juice to get like that calified production, but as you can see, with the Nemesis, with the correct setup, you can blow a respectable cloud, and this thing does it every single time, now that I took out this little ring. So, if you're going to get a Nemesis, I highly recommend it. I can't recommend any of the other models. I can recommend the H cigar, which is this one, and it does have the silver contacts. From reading up on how to tell the difference between a clone and an authentic, when it comes to the H cigars, or at least this Nemesis, it all goes to touch. Apparently the authentic has a little bit deeper laser engraving, so the etching will be deeper, and the silver contacts, apparently from what I understand, in the authentic, the silver contacts are more of a dull silver, and these is a bright silver, as I've shown you. So, other than that, I don't have much to say about the mod. I mean, it's very simple, you know. It's just, it is what it is. But hopefully, you know, hopefully y'all understand that taking out that rain will reduce your battery rattle tremendously. If you're worried about losing that, just do like I do and throw it, just screw it onto your kick and call it a day. Again, I don't know if that's going to work for all the clones, but it does work for this one. So, other than that, I don't have much to say. Thank you for watching. I hope that this was helpful for you. And until then, I'm gonna check out of here. So I'll give y'all one more cloud. I'm gonna give you one more plume, for lack of better terminology, because I don't want to call it a cloud. I'm gonna give you one more, and then I'm gonna get out of here. So. Vape on, people. Vape on.